Good morning, this is Ron, and welcome to Story Time. And today it is 6:32 a.m. and it is January, what is the date today? 29th? Or 27th. Well, anyways, I'm coming to you recording this on location at Lovebirds Cafe and Bakery in Pasadena on Colorado Boulevard. And the selections today are again from Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, Poems and Drawings. And so there's about, I don't know, maybe 100 or so more pages, I guess, left in the book, and I'd like to finish it before I move on to something else. So, the first one is called The Longest Nose in the World, and it reads, "The longest nose in the world belongs to Miss Betsy Blue Bonnet, who lets me write things on it." Rudy Felsch. Rudy Felsch knows how to belch, better than anyone ever did. Margot says that Rudy Felsch is a nasty, vulgar kid. Someday he will go to hell or jail or Canada, but now, every night I pray that first Rudy Felsch will show me how. Fred? From out of the cold Caribbean into the desert Libyan there crawled a strange amphibian, and we shall call him Fred. You say let's call him Ted, or maybe Lou or Jed, but I want to call him Fred. You like Maurice instead, or Barnaby, or Red, or Lucifer, or Ned? Well, anyway, he's dead. The Long-Haired Boy. There was a boy in our town with long hair. I mean really long hair. And everybody pointed at him and laughed at him and made fun of him. And when he walked down the street, the people would roar and stick out their tongues and make funny faces and run in and slam the door and shout at him from the window until he couldn't stand it anymore. So he sat down and cried till his whole body shook, and pretty soon his hair shook too. And it flapped, and he lifted and flew straight up into the air like a helicopter. Jenny Ricks saw him and dropped her knitting and screamed, "It's a flying kid." Lukey Hastings ran and hid under Old Man Merrill's car. Miss Terrence fainted. Henry Quist tried to shoot him down, but missed. "I thought he was a crow," he said. And round he sailed all through the day, smiling in the strangest way, with the wind in his hair and the sun in his eyes. We saw him swoop and bank and rise. He brushed the treetops and skimmed the grass on Yerby's lawn and almost crashed right into Hanson's silo, but zoomed up in time and almost hit the courthouse. Old Man Cooley bit right through his napkin when he saw a kid fly through the diner door and out of the window, tipping the ladder where Smokey was painting. He almost had a heart attack. He clung to a rafter. The kid flew on, us running after, cheering and sweating and screaming, "Hooray!" Mayor Lowry shouted, "Hey, come down here, kid. We'd like to say how proud of you we are today. Whoever thought our little town would have a hero in it? So I'd like to proclaim this day, hey, kid, will you please come down for just a minute?" But the flying kid did not come down. He treaded air above the town, sort of crying and looking down at all of us here on the ground. Then he flew up into the clouds, flapping and flying so far and high, out past the hills and into the sky, until a tiny speck against the sun was all we could see of him, and then he was gone. Band-Aids. I have a Band-Aid on my finger, one on my knee and one on my nose, one on my heel and 2 on my shoulder, 3 on my elbow and 9 on my toes, 2 on my wrist and 1 on my ankle, 1 on my chin and 1 on my thigh, 4 on my belly and 5 on my bottom, 1 on my forehead and 1 on my eye, 1 on my neck, and in case I might need them, I have a box full of 35 more. But I do think it's sort of a pity I don't have a cut or a sore. Dreadful. Someone ate the baby. It's rather sad to say. Someone ate the baby. She won't come out to play. We'll never hear her whiny cry or have to feel if she is dry. We'll never hear her asking, why? Someone ate the baby. Someone ate the baby. It's absolutely clear someone ate the baby because the baby isn't here. We'll give away her toys and clothes. We'll never have to wipe her nose. Dad says that's the way it goes. Someone ate the baby. Someone ate the baby. What a frightful thing to eat. Someone ate the baby, though she wasn't very sweet. It was a heartless thing to do. The policemen haven't got a clue. I simply can't imagine who would go and eat the baby. Skinny. Skinny McGuinn was so terribly thin that while taking his bath Sunday night, out popped the plug, and sloosh, swoosh, and glug, glug, it washed Skinny right down the drain out of sight. And where's our dear Skinny bathing tonight? In some underground pool down below? Or up there so high in that tub in the sky where all of the clean people go? The Land of Happy. Have you been to the Land of Happy, where everyone's happy all day, where they joke and they sing of the happiest things, and everyone's jolly and gay? There's no one unhappy and happy. There's laughter and smiles galore. I've been to the Land of Happy. What a bore. Pirate Captain Jim. Walk the plank, says Pirate Jim. But Captain Jim, I cannot swim. Then you must steer us through the gale. But Captain Jim, I cannot sail. Then down with the galley slaves you go. But Captain Jim, I cannot row. Then you must be the pirate's clerk. But Captain Jim, I cannot work. Then a pirate captain you must be. Thank you, Jim, says Captain Me. Fish? Little fish eats the tiny fish. The big fish eats the little fish. So only the biggest fish gets fat. Do you know any folks like that? If the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd eat? A big slice of soup and a whole quart of meat. A lemonade sandwich, and then I might try some roasted ice cream or a bicycle pie. A nice notebook salad, an underwear roast, an omelet of hats, and some crisp cardboard toast. A thick malted milk made from pencils and daisies. And that's what I'd eat if the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd wear? A chocolate suit and a tie of eclair, some marshmallow earmuffs, some licorice shoes, and I'd read a paper of peppermint news. I'd call the boys Susie, and I'd call the girls Harry. I'd talk through my ears, and I would always carry a paper umbrella for when it grew hazy to keep in the rain if the world was crazy. If the world was crazy, you know what I'd do? I'd walk on the ocean and swim in my shoe. I'd fly through the ground, and I'd skip through the air. I'd run down the bathtub and bathe on the stair. When I met somebody, I'd say, "Goodbye, Joe." And when I was leaving, I'd say, "Hello." And the greatest of men would be silly and lazy, so I would be king if the world was crazy. Stone telling. How do we tell if a window is open? Just throw a stone at it. Does it make a noise? It doesn't? Well, it was open. Now let's try another. Crash! It wasn't. Chester. Chester come to school and said, "Dern, I grew another head." Teacher said, "It's time you knowed the word is grew instead of growed." The silver fish. While fishing in the blue lagoon, I caught a lovely silver fish, and he spoke to me. "My boy," quoth he, "please set me free, and I'll grant your wish. A kingdom of wisdom, a palace of gold, or all the goodies your fancies can hold." So I said okay, and I threw him free, and he swam away, and he laughed at me, whispering my foolish wish into a silent sea. Today I caught that fish again, the lovely silver prince of fishes, and once again he offered me if I would only set him free. Any one of a number of wonderful wishes, he was delicious. Forgotten language. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. Once I understood each word that the caterpillar said. Once I smiled in secret at the gossip of the starlings and shared a conversation with the housefly in my bed. Once I heard and answered all the questions of the crickets and joined the crying of each falling, dying flake of snow. Once I spoke the language of the flowers. How did it go? How did it go? The generals. Said General Clay to General Gore, "Oh, must we fight this silly war? To kill and die is such a bore." "I quite agree," said General Gore. Said General Gore to General Clay, "We could go to the beach today and have some ice cream on the way." "A grand idea," said General Clay. Said General Clay to General Gore, "We'll build sandcastles on the shore." Said General Gore, "We'll splash and play. Let's leave right now," said General Clay. Said General Gore to General Clay, "But what if the sea is closed today? And what if the sand's been blown away? A dreadful thought, said General Clay. Said General Gore to General Clay, I've always feared the ocean's spray, and we may drown. It's true we may. It chills my blood, said General Clay. Said General Clay to General Gore, my bathing suit is slightly tore. We'd better go on with our war. I quite agree, said General Gore. Then General Clay charged General Gore as bullets flew and cannons roar. And now, alas, there is no more of General Clay or General Gore. Just me, just me. Sweet Marie, she loves just me. She also loves Maurice McGee. No, she don't. She loves just me. She also loves Louise Dupree. No, she don't. She loves just me. She also loves the willow tree. No, she don't. She loves just me. Poor, poor fool, why can't you see? She can love others and still love thee. Standing on my elbow, with my finger in my ear, biting on a dandelion and humming kind of queer while I watched a yellow caterpillar creeping up my wrist. I leaned on a tree and I said to me, why am I doing this? The one who stayed. Should have heard the old man cry, should have heard the biddies, when that sad stranger raised his flute and piped away the kiddies. Katie, Tommy, Meg, and Bob followed, skipping gaily, red-haired Ruth, my brother Rob, and little crippled Bailey. John and Nils and cousin Claire, dancing, spinning, turning, crossed the hills to God knows where. They never came returning. Across the hills to God knows where, the piper pranced a-leadin', each child in Hamlin town but me, and I stayed home unheedin'. My papa says that I was blessed, for if that music found me, I'd be witchcast like all the rest. This town grows old around me, I cannot say I did not hear that sound so haunting hollow. I heard it clear. I was afraid to follow. Melinda May. Have you heard of tiny Melinda May, who ate a monstrous whale? She thought she could. She said she would. So she started in right at the tail. And everyone said, you're much too small. But that didn't bother Melinda at all. She took little bites, and she chewed very slow, just like a good girl should. And in 89 years, she ate that whale because she said she would. The Little Blue Engine. The little blue engine looked up at the hill. His light was weak, his whistle was shrill. He was tired and small, and the hill was tall, and his face blushed red as he softly said, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. So he started up with a chug and a strain, and he puffed and he pulled with might and main, and slowly he climbed a foot at a time, and his engine coughed as he whispered soft, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. With a squeak and a creak and a toot and a sigh, with an extra hope and an extra try, he would not stop. Now he neared the top. And strong and proud, he cried out loud, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. He was almost there when, crash, smash, bash, he slid down and mashed into engine hash on the rocks below. Which goes to show, if the track is tough and the hill is rough, thinking you can just ain't enough. Afraid of the dark. I'm Reginald Clark. I'm afraid of the dark. So I always insist on the light on, and my teddy to hug, and my blanket to rub, and my thumbie to suck or bite on, and 3 bedtime stories, 2 trips to the toilet, 2 prayers, and 5 hugs from my mommy. I'm Reginald Clark. I'm afraid of the dark, so please do not close this book on me. And that about wraps it up for today, and let me see, it's got to be, there it is, the 27th is the date today, okay? So January 27th, 6:30, or now 6:46 at Lovebirds in Pasadena on Colorado Boulevard. And that was some selections from Shel Silverstein's book, Where the Sidewalk Ends. And I hope you enjoyed those selections. And the next episode of Storytime will be on next Tuesday, which should be the January 30th, if I'm not mistaken. I see 27th, 28th, 29th. No, Monday's the 30th. So what? I guess it'd be the 31st. And we'll go from there. So until then, have a great weekend.